Jai Shri Nitai Gaura Sundar ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanandi.
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma. Shri Guru Charana Padma.
So today is the most auspicious appearance day of Lord Varahadev. So I'm happy today because there's one new Bhaktin who will be coming to the temple. She got in touch with us through one of the groups on WeChat, where we regularly share our Prasadam distribution program. So she's quite young, I believe in her early 20s, and she contacted us saying that she would like to learn more about Bhakti Yoga. She's already wearing the Tulasi necklace, and I saw her picture profile, her background is Tulasi Devi. So she's already a little bit acquainted, and she said also that she would like to offer her time for service in Prasadam distribution. So that is nice. Bhaktin like last year who used to come. She was from a yoga studio, for those of you who've been following, but she was not willing to become a devotee. She was just coming in and out as a well-wisher. Then I preached to this colleague of mine who was kind of interested, you know. Unfortunately, now we moved far from him. I tried to convince him to start reading books and come to the temple a few times. It never occurred. Then there's this other Bhaktin who's already a devotee, but she's got, I can say frankly, mental issues, and she always deletes my WeChat and then add me again and then delete and add me again. But here is a young Mataji who's in her early 20s, who really wants to become a devotee, who finished Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, and who was looking for a place like this, and she said, you know, I'm so happy, and she lives really near us. So I think finally we might get a new member in our congregation. I just pray to Lord Krishna that this comes to pass. That would be so much of a fresh, a fresh start for us here, and the Matajis will have some engagement. They will have to preach to her, you know, and show by example. That is the most important thing. When we have someone under us, it's an impetus for us to become more serious, because we know that if we don't show by example, that person also will suffer. And sometimes we tend to treat others better than we treat ourselves, or to be more careful about other people's spiritual advancement than our own. So I'm very happy, and I hope this is Hare Krishna. The vlog which you've just finished watching, you must have realized that it's footages for some time ago, maybe in 1 or 2 months I believe. Lord Varahadev's appearance day and Lord Nityananda's appearance day, which I'm editing at the moment. Actually, that Bhaktin which was there, here she is. Her name is Alison. So she went back to Australia because she was to be married to her fiancé. Her fiancé is also a devotee. So she went back and that's it. So she's not going to be the new Bhaktin that's going to be joining us. Never mind, let us continue. Let us try again. I have to put the fault on me though, because I feel that I'm not trying hard enough. I should be trying to go out there and distribute books, I still haven't broken the ice on that matter. This is one of my plans. About a year ago, I bought this big speaker, actually, that was donated by Srinivas Prabhu, and it turned out to be way too big. So what happened is that speaker's price actually increased, so I could sell it back about the same price that I had bought it. And with the part of the money, I have bought a more portable one, which is here. You can see this. So that will be easy to carry. And also the microphone. The thing is, I could not find a microphone, a headset to pair with that other speaker, although it was a good brand, I would like to just go outside and sit down somewhere and just do bhajan and try to distribute some flyers. So I hope I'm just not talking about it and I'm actually going to be doing it, I know I'll be doing it, but I want to be doing it on a regular basis, that's the thing. And distribute some flyers and see who will be interested. In those flyers we should speak about the philosophy very shortly, and who will be interested to contact us and maybe even buy a book. Because actually preaching means this, without distributing Prabhupada's books, there's no really meaning to preaching. And the real goal of preaching is to have them surrender to Prabhupada, to take initiation, that is really the aim. But before that, there has to be training and all. So making a new devotee is not easy, especially in China. And recently there's a lot of restrictions because there's some COVID cases everywhere in China. They kind of freak out, concerning the restrictions and all. I can show you something. So in our WeChat, this is app, which is kind of a bit like the WhatsApp in China. It's much more advanced though. There are some integrated applications. So one of the applications is this. Those two things here is to follow our health status, So wherever you go, if you enter a bus or subway station or supermarket, you have to show this. So if your QR code is green, you're good to go. They'll let you come in, And then you see here 24 hours since I did my last acid test, because now they're testing the whole country. Even here in our garden, we did the test about 3 times. So if you bring your phone somewhere and you go in an infected zone, then your QR code might turn yellow. Or even worse, red, if you've been very near someone who they found out that was infected. This is also another of the obstacles. Anyway, never mind. At least at the time being, we're having our own program going on here. The other time my wife was telling me, well, it's so hard to preach in China, we only have a small temple and a few devotees. So I said, yes, it's a fact, we have a small thing going on, it's not a big thing, but still it's the highest standard in China, and that's a fact. How do I know? Because I'm in so many devotees groups and I see them sharing, verses and all, and very few of them are sharing devotional activities. And like the one that I see the most is there's Beijing and Guangzhou. So there's one ISKCON center in Beijing, but what they do, they don't have a real program of deity worship there. They gather, I think, once a week and have some bhajans and all. So there's no dedicated preacher. That's a fact. I think in the whole of China, there's not one dedicated preacher, ISKCON preacher, that is full-time preaching. So, of course, it's not that I'm proud, but I think I'm the only one who's trying full-time to be preaching here in China at the moment. So this is what I said. I told my wife that, yes, but we have the highest standard in China. There's no other place that has what we have. The standard of deity worship that we have, daily puja, in the morning, abhishek and all of this, and the offerings throughout the whole day. We have Bhagavatam class in the morning, and at least if I don't give the class in the evening, the Matajis will be sitting down together and reading the Bhagavad Gita. This is not seen anywhere else. So we have, although we're small, we have the highest standard in China. And yes, I am proud to say that because it's just a proof that we're following Srila Prabhupada's instructions, So that's it. Let us try to push again. I need to start distributing some literature, even if it's just some small pamphlet, small flyers. I have to do that. I used to do it much more often before, when we used to be in Xuchang, in Henan province, my wife and I. I used to print a lot, and distribute. I've somehow not managed to get this back on track recently. I have to do this. So with all your blessings, I hope I'll be able to go out there again and try to make contact with people, despite the challenges. One thing for sure is that we have to keep moving, we have to keep trying and not be too attached to the result. Leave the result in the Lord's hands. If we're too attached to the result, we'll just get demotivated and that'll be it. But if we simply think that, let me try, and whatever happens, happens, then it's in the Lord's hands. Alright, that's it. Hare Krishna.